Hey guys, I just wanted to do a quick video on just the coronavirus experience here in Texas, right outside of Houston, not too far, about 20 minutes out. So we consider ourselves Houston pretty much. The work experience right now, you got some people asked to stay home and work from home and things of that nature if they're able to. So if you got computer, VPN, and internet access, then you have the ability to work from home. It's highly encouraged that you work from home. I mean, my employer is saying that, hey, if somebody in your home has it, you stay home. If you already sick, you stay home. Just sick in general, flu, sick, snot nose, sneezing, coughing, whatever. Stay your butt home, pretty much. So that's rewarding. That's comforting to know. But for those who are still required to come in, if you're healthy and you don't fit the guidelines that they have listed, then you're still required to come in, even though it may be a few people hanging around one another. It's a big open space, so that's just the experience for my employer. Um, it's just pretty shocking that this is forcing a whole nother, it's forcing HR leaders, CEOs, small businesses to really reevaluate how they look at life, how they look at health, how they look at spreading, how they look at their business, lawsuits, things of this nature, still getting their customers satisfied with products that they ordered for whatever reason. I mean, it's a lot to look at. Businesses can fail if they're paycheck to paycheck, if you understand what I mean. Like, if they're not already doing well and they're surviving off the products that they're shoving out the door or selling to customers or whatever, and that income is no longer there or has been temporarily on hold due to this here coronavirus, then it can tank a company. People can get laid off. Businesses can go, bankrupt, no longer exist. Plenty of office spaces just empty. Business is empty. You go to your tax man, he's no longer there, or something on a small scale, dentist, something that's day to day. Convenience store, gas station, cleaners, daycare, you know. Schools are closed down, which is pretty good. My daughter is not expected to go back to school until about mid-April, and it may be pushed back because the president was on the TV yesterday saying that this may be all done around August or July. So I don't know. I was watching a video. This is maybe hearsay or a rumor that if you feel like you have it or whatever, well, number one thing that can kill the coronavirus is pretty much obviously keeping clean, washing your hands, hand sanitizer, things of that nature. But some little remedy somebody was suggesting is to keep your nasal pathway a little warm at a certain temperature as much as possible. And if it get too dry, spray a little mist of water in your face and go back to keeping it warm. Now, what are some ways to keep it warm? By using a uh, hair dryer or something like that, or maybe even going outside. Who knows? Just keep that pathogen, that your pathway in your nostrils warm. They say. Reason being is because it's killing the coronavirus. Well, that's just advice. If the last thing that you probably want to do, or you may want to do it now if you just want to be cautious, because they're just saying like germs and bacteria can easily build in cold environments, which I personally don't believe. That's why the hospitals are so cold. But like I said, back to the schools. Schools are closed. They really don't want the kids to get sick. You got parents having to stay home with those kids, as you can see on YouTube and social media. All parents are having fun with it. Sharing their experience of being a teacher. And some are taking it serious. Some got an actual schedule. Some are not. Some are letting their kids have fun, play video games, just simply keeping them happy and fed. Another cool thing that schools are doing, they're letting students come and get a free lunch at a particular time. Actually, anybody, actually. But they just have to have the kid present inside of the vehicle, which it seems kind of legit. But man, if you don't want people to get sick, why are you asking the little ones to come out into the atmosphere and possibly, have to deal with that? But it's pretty cool that schools are definitely taking the government's advice and shutting down stuff, and so that our little ones can prevent from getting sick as much as possible. When it comes to the stores, we have a store here, Kroger, and man, it was pretty much No toilet paper, no cleaning supplies like Lysol, and things of that nature, and milk. I didn't try to go in there and do a full grocery shopping. I opt to do the curbside shopping. We ordered it all online, and they gave us a day that was 5 days out. But nonetheless, we have our secured groceries, hopefully, because they just reimbursed me my money in my account this morning, and I'm assuming and hoping that nothing is going wrong there, and we can just make that payment once we receive the groceries. But um, for the most part, like I was telling my family, you can go to the stores, wrapped up, gloved up, masked up. Um, you know, you just probably have to eat a particular brand that you never had or something like that, or the selection. You may have a particular kind of item that you prefer and things of that nature, but you may not get it. But as far as snacks, they had a lot of snacks there. Alcohol was available in case you just want to calm down a little bit. Um, so the stores are not that bad. The lines were short. I mean, quick. I was probably at the register. Shoot, as soon as I pulled up, she was already ringing up my stuff. So it was not that bad. They do have employees stocking shelves constantly, almost on every aisle. So you have those troopers. And then like I said, they probably fall in the category of being told to come into work regardless of the circumstances out in the world. Because Chick-fil-A is open. Who else sent me emails about being open? Chick-fil-A. Let me look at my emails real quick. I think Chipotle. Uh, shoot. Uh, Chick-fil-A. Just businesses. My realtor, Gallery Furniture, is trying to help out. A major furniture store here. 24-hour Fitness did shut down. It's a pizza place up the street. So they're saying, hey, don't forget about us. We're still open. Like I said, some businesses cannot afford to shut their doors, and the little bit that they do have coming in, that they're thankful for, and that's probably how our employers are thinking. You know, but as far as the government, I don't know, man. It's just mixed communications. You got some scientists saying this, you got the government saying this. I say just respect all the information as possible, even though some of it may conflict. You know what I mean? Trump is saying that during the summer, hotter months that we're about to approach, it doesn't like it. The coronavirus does not like it. So, we have nothing to worry about, things of that nature. But, some people are saying that that's not true, blah, blah, blah. But like I said, people are going to hate on Trump regardless. So just be careful. I'm sure he's definitely getting his information from some legit sources because he is the president of the United States, and he's not the one always just sharing his opinion about something on this level. But just do your research, see which direction you need to go as far as understanding or comprehending what's being said. Go online. There's a ton of information on there. Just like I say, don't view everything as face value and honest and true. There may be a ton of opinions and things of that nature. But what I wanted to talk about also is just the supply and demand. This is the sketchy side. This is the side of, okay, based on the resources that we have, if they were to come up with a vaccine, how long will it take to get it into the public? As of right now, they have no vaccine or cure, to my understanding. They only have these kits that take a little few days to get your results. Okay, so if that is happening, we're pretty much screwed. This is my opinion. Why are we pretty much screwed, James? You ask. Well, if me and my family have it, how do we know if we have it or not? Because we got to go to where to get these kits? Are they being mailed? You going to the hospital where all the sick people are? You have to understand that whole spiel. Then you got countries that will constantly have it because they don't have the resources like we do here in the United States. And so how did it get here in the first place? Through another country, far, far away. And it got here, it got there, it got to almost all the continents, a lot of major countries, due to social experience with other people who had it already, right? So this is just what I wanted to talk about. You got the healthy nurses who have kids possibly at the house being unattended or being watched by their father or mother or whatever, the nurse's spouse. Hopefully they're married, so that's an uncomfortable experience. They're constantly at the job, worrying about unhealthy people may definitely risk their life and get harmed or get the coronavirus if people have it there. It's just a very unfortunate experience that I'm sure that some healthy nurses are having to go through. Another thing, do they have kits? A lot of kits for people to confirm that they have it to stop the spreading. And this is not just here in the United States. People need to know. They need to be able to cough on something, put their saliva on something, pee on something. They need to figure out how do they have it in a quick way so that we can narrow this here spreading down. Yes, they telling us to stay home, but what if we staying home with it in our home and somebody dies within our home? It's little to no symptoms, pretty much. A common cold. Common cold. So everything about it is just a common day. That's how people are going to experience it. But I believe that it's a bigger situation than that. It's just something to watch out for. I mean, I can go on and on 2 hours on just having the manpower and the infrastructure to deliver a vaccine if it was possible, getting the names of the people who actually have it and how do we deliver it to them from a government standpoint, and the manufacturing company who has to create these packages, and what is the best way to distribute out the virus, the vaccine to people who need it. That is going to take at least a year and a half just to figure that out. We're still in the info stages, the beginning stages of just trying to even figure out what is the solution to resolve this here coronavirus. And it makes you think. And the employers are still asking people to go to work, still asking people to, make their trip to work and things of that nature. And then possibly bringing it home, making it worse, right? But we still need food. We still need groceries. This thing may last for months. There's no way people are out there buying stuff to last them for months. And then people who are second guessing or wondering why people are buying all the toilet paper and stuff because they don't know how long it's going to be. I know we go through toilet paper like crazy. I got a family of 4 and I got guests that pop over every once in a while. And we run through that stuff. We got to get it in the large packages from Costco or Sam's. But neither here or there. I think that we're going to be in the marathon with this one. I really do believe that it's going to spread. It's going to be nothing out of the ordinary for your neighbor to have it, your colleague to have it, or someone on that level real close to you, because you think of a way of how to prevent this from spreading as fast as it is. Just think about it. If we stay in our homes, small businesses fail because we're not out spending our money. So that's the downside of that. Our companies are not going to be able to. I'm just receiving an email about it right now. Let me glance at this. Our companies are going to lose money, staffing. Hold on right quick. Yeah, they're still telling us to come into work. It's terrible. Reading the email. This is crazy. This is crazy, boy. Boy. It's crazy. Send this out to my colleagues. But at the end of the day, man, I understand the bigger picture, right? But you don't want to have to use up all your vacation, all your emergency time, all of this, right? So you go in, and while doing so, you're taking a chance. You are still securing your role at your job, but at what expense? They still want us to come in full capacity and things of that nature. I mean, I just, At some point, it's going to have to come to a halt, because you got truck drivers who need to come and get what we supply and to give it to customers. Well, who's at the door of our customers? Are there people, personnel, manned? Are they sent home? It's going to be a conflict. I think that we just want to make sure that we do our part and let the other people figure out their end, which I understand from a business aspect. I don't know, but you got your linemen out there still cutting grass like a normal day, like they don't even have access to the news, but I'm sure they have some clue of what's happening. Kids still playing outside, doing their thing. I seen some down the street. My daughter's in here making YouTube videos and reading books. She's bored, but every time she said, I just have her to read another extra hour. Or we do a little contest around the house or get arts and craft going or making videos together. I mean, this coronavirus, I believe, in my opinion, if somebody had to ask me, is going to interrupt a lot. It's already interrupting our investments, our 401ks. Ultimately, like I mentioned earlier, big businesses are going to dictate how this really runs and how this really goes. I believe that the U.S. government is already in so much debt. Now, granted, we know that they can print out money and ship it out to the community and the economy, but that's not always a good thing. That hurts us more than it helps. But in cases like this, they probably will do it anyway. Um, Hold on, right quick. Yeah. Um. Yeah. So I forgot what I was talking about, but it just affects us, man. I can't see them cranking up the manufacturing process, the vials that they have to create, the amounts that have to be inserted, the packaging that has to be done. How are they going to get it to the person who is in need of it? Ship it, then people get familiar with what's being shipped on people's porches, and then start stealing it and then selling it for a higher profit. Who's going to do the shipping? If UPS, Amazon, or whomever is down. That's just if they were to ship it. Now, if they have us going to a particular location, the best thing I can think about is like a drive up, drive through type process. Get what you got and go home and shoot it up or sniff it or whatever. Put it where you need to put it to be cleansed of this coronavirus. But that is not ideal. But if we have to do that, we have to do that. But how do they know if the people rolling up and requesting it actually have it? Are they going to do tests right there? Are they going to say, hey, look, let me see your test results? Okay, well, then let's go back. How do we get test results? How long do those test results come in? Is there a kit? I know we have a kit, but is it accessible to the general public? An entire neighborhood, probably 50% may have it right now and don't even know it. And they're just living life, being slightly quarantined, going out and getting food here and there, touching door handles, sneezing on stuff here every once in a while, on their arm. Then they give a hug to somebody and boom, it's beginning to spread. And then now 90%, I'm not trying to do this scared tactic. I'm just saying, if everything was to go well, we find a cure, how are they going to distribute it? That's my main question, in a manner in which it doesn't increase the coronavirus. Now, mind you, you say, well, who cares? We got the vaccine, we got the cure, we got this. You will have to invest more and more and more and more. Let's just say this. Is there a way to provide what we are in need of to everybody? Um, on a scale of making sure that, okay, it's knocked out. We can't provide close to 8 billion vials and vaccines to the world, right? 8 billion, I mean, vials or vaccines and cures to the world, you know, like we do the flu shot. What is the flu shot? I mean, that, to my knowledge, it's a little slight phase of the flu in that capsule, in that shot that they give us so that our bodies can be immune to it. So let's just say, for instance, if um, the vaccine does not react well with certain human hosts and it has a counter effect. It, instead of helping, it does the opposite. Now we got a whole nother issue on our hands. I don't know. I don't know if the world or USA is ready to be taking something, and having faith in something that has little to no testing. This is not something that's been around for quite some time on a level to be treated on this level. Now, coronavirus has existed, yes, different forms of it and so forth. As you can see, it's on the side of a Lysol can and not the new ones, the old ones as well. SARS coronavirus. So it's nothing to be shocked about or nothing like that. But um, this level of spreading and virus and transmitting and things of that nature is just it's unseen. It has to be like in the 1918s and things of that nature with the influenza virus and things of that nature. I mean, it's on a grand scale, and we have millions of billions of people since those times where knocked out 100,000 possibly around that time frame, which was a lot of people. But just imagine what it'll do today, knock out millions. You know, I don't know if I don't know if the numbers that they're showing us is completely accurate because everybody is not coming forward to be a part of the statistic. Yes, those are data. That's data that they have of people that they are aware of, but there's plenty of people who they do not know have what and don't know what to do and don't know anything about. So the numbers may be drastically high, or those may be the rough estimates, and to reflect what is really happening. It can be true, it can be false. But if you're just outside looking in at the obvious, we have a lot to do in order to put a cap on this. And with the president saying July and August being the time frame when everything just wash clear, wash free, and we're all free from this thing, it seems more realistic. But even saying that should put someone at unease financially. Because if the employers who, some of them are saying, hey, look, we'll pay you. I know Apple said they'll pay their employees. I know a few NBA owners said that they're going to try to pay their employees who work the concession stands and things of that nature so that they can have some type of income coming in. And I think that's pretty dope. But, how much money is there available to keep families who are not turning a profit for their business paid up until they come back, until this thing is over with? You see the conflict there? I'm paying these people to do nothing for me, but I'm paying them to keep them on ice. The paperwork that's involved to have them paid, tax reasons, I mean, filing record. I mean, some people live paycheck to paycheck. Some people live primarily off the overtime that they do, and there's less hours. So guess what? Boom. Now, if they talk with the banks and say, banks, you don't hassle these people. You give them a pass until this pass is over, until the coronavirus is gone. And now you got pressure on the banks. Banks has bills. Banks have loans out. Banks need to be able to assist big businesses to get back on their feet. So if everything is suspended and pushed out until, stopped on hold and will start months after this is over with, then all of that time in between, where was the money? What's happening with the money? And so I don't know. If I was the president, I would say, hey, look, banks, hold off on asking for money for loans, cars, and things of that nature. Now, when it comes to like utilities and things of that nature, I would say the same thing for them. Hold off. Push it towards another, push it towards my future bill when this passes over. Divide the amount that you require for me to pay across the rest of the next 12 months. And boom, we'll do that. As far as food is concerned, I think the schools have a great idea of allowing kids and families to come and pick up food from certain locations and getting food. And but when does that run out? I think supply and demand is the most important thing. That's even supply and demand of the kits to find out if you have the coronavirus, a vaccine, if it was to become, an actual thing and a cure, how do we manufacture them quick enough to get them out to the public and into the people's hands? Money. This whole thing, you can put your bottom dollar. If you follow the money, it will tell you how serious this is. If you follow the money, big businesses shut down, the government doing certain things, the way that they move, how slow did they move, how fast did they move, it's going to all go back to resources and money, in my opinion. Um, Jobs are still being employed and manned by people because of money. Chick-fil-A, yes, one that helps out, but at the end of the day, it's all for money. If they know that other businesses are shut down, they know that they can be the top dog when it comes to serving people in the community food and sandwiches and things of that nature, right? It just makes sense. But if you don't have an online business, if you're not in the stocks, hopefully yours is doing well, which I probably, they're not as of right now. Because of people being scared and pulling money out and using it for legitimate reasons, or just not investing or whatever dictates the value of stocks is happening right now. I scroll, you can check my other video out. I scroll through all of the stocks that I bookmark and follow every once in a while and study here and there, and all of them were in red. It was probably 2 out of 100 that was not. But I don't know, guys. I just want everybody to be blessed. Pray about this situation. It may be in God's will for this to occur, but just pray for comfort, understanding, and just patience and peace, heart and peace, and for protection of your home. You don't want any looters coming into your home. You don't want it to kill nobody. But just hope for the best. Do your best to keep people uplifted. Constantly communicate with the elderly. Make sure they're healthy. Make sure they're fine. Check in with them. Boost their confidence. And give them additional comfort. But ultimately, we're just in a position to live life to the best of our ability right now. Don't worry. Don't go crazy. Don't stress out, especially the fathers. You always feel like you don't want to feel too vulnerable, get your family hurt or whatever. But ultimately, just do what you can do right now. And that's about it. Appreciate you guys for listening.